Are you listening? This ain't no quiet thing. We're screaming out our lungs. Hey, are you listening? Hey, are you there? Hey, are you listening? Or do you just not care?
Hey friends, are you listening? This is a podcast exploring the past, present, and future of Christian music. My name is Joel, and I'm here with my good friend Brandon. And we connected over a mutual love of some specific artists, but also listen to some completely different stuff as well. And so we get to experience that from each other while sometimes inviting some friends along for the ride. And today we have a guest with us for our 10th episode. And she's actually been a guest here before. And so we're bringing her back in celebration of episode 10. Brandon, who's our guest today?
It's Jordan.
I feel like I'm an honored guest because not only was I the first guest on the show, I'm now celebrating double digits with you guys. So
It's a big deal that you're here today. The first guest, well, I can't say that you're the first guest to be on 2 episodes because that's not true.
yeah,
You're the second guest to be on 2
I
episodes.
am the second guest.
But you're here and on a pretty important episode for us. And because it's such a big deal for us to hit 10 episodes, today we're moving into the present. We've been looking back at things that we've enjoyed in the past, but you know what? Today we're like, forget about it. We're going to look at something that is now, that's current, and we're going to look at where Christian music is today. And so today we're going to be listening to the album Jungle in the City by Gable Price and Friends. And so more on that in just a little bit, but I'm excited to talk about it. I'll spend some time listening to it. But before we get into all that stuff, I think, Brandon, you mentioned that maybe you had something fun for us to do.
Yeah, I've got a game for you and Jordan.
I feel like Brandon's games are always dangerous, though.
Dangerous.
You don't know what kind of game it's going to be.
Since we're reviewing Gable Price and Friends, this game is called Friend or Foe,
Okay.
Concert Edition. So I'm going to give you some stuff that you would, or you may have encountered at concerts, and you're going to tell me if it's good, friend, or if you're against it, it's foe.
Okay.
All right?
Gotcha.
Any questions before we start?
I'm just going to go with it.
All right. Pyrotechnics, friend or foe?
Well, I feel like pyrotechnics through a pyrotechnic team, friend. But if little Johnny has just got a flamethrower out in the crowd, that's definitely foe.
I'm a hard foe on pyrotechnics. Like, if you need that stuff to make your music hit, like, you're not a musician.
Okay.
I think they're fun.
Using backing tracks instead of live instruments.
Oh, Brandon.
So do you want a full band behind you, or are you cool with just the one person singing and just tracks playing?
Here's the reality of this. Every band on the road right now uses backing tracks. It's just to what extent are they using them? And so I mean, there might be a few that aren't, but for the most part, pretty much everybody's doing it. I'm definitely a foe for the person that's like the guy with a guitar that has this full band sound behind him, and there is not a full band there. But I guess I'd rather just experience it live. Yeah. I'm just gonna stay with that.
I love hearing all of the little intricacies of a live show. So I am a foe for backing tracks because I love seeing a little guy with like a bell that he just shakes every like 10 seconds or so. because that's what's on the song.
Just like when we went to see Sixpence None the Richer play.
Exactly.
And Steve Hindelog is up there just rocking out every little
That,
percussion
like,
instrument.
He had like a handle with like 10 bells on it.
Yeah.
And he just shook it. every couple of seconds. And I was like, that's so cool.
With more passion than I've ever seen anybody shake a bell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right,
And
move.
like, I will
Brandon's
say,
like, can we move this along?
I will say, adding in like a saxophone. I love a saxophone, but to hear it like on a track, I love it live.
It's good.
All right, matching shirts with your youth group or church.
Do you even have to ask this question?
I'm a faux because I want to wear my own shirt, my own cool band T-shirt to this concert.
Yeah, I'm definitely a faux. It's rock and roll, baby.
Amen,
Yeah.
brother.
We had years ago, they made me take off the John Rubin shirt I was wearing to a concert, and they made me wear matching shirts. Now, mind you, we were working the event, but I still felt like there should have been an exception for John Rubin. And then I lost the shirt.
Were you at a John Rubin show?
No, he wasn't there.
Okay, good. That's a whole other thing.
Maybe that was the Lord protecting you, Brandon.
Mosh pits.
As somebody who actually used to mosh, looking back on it now, they're so dangerous. And there were lots of times where I probably would have gotten seriously hurt if I wouldn't have just gotten out of it. But like, I don't know. I feel like they're fun. So maybe I may be a friend of it.
I'll call myself an acquaintance. I'm not going to participate myself, but I don't mind other people doing their thing. So,
All right, general admission versus like paying for like your designated seat.
I'm a friend
yeah, I'm friendly with that. I don't
Okay.
mind it.
because then I can move around. So like if I really love a song, I can move closer to the stage. And then if it's like, I'm not a huge fan of this song, I can sit kind of in the back.
Right.
The thing I love about general admission is everybody's standing up the whole time and engaged and involved. And when you pay for your own seat, too many people use their seats. And then it's like you lose some of the experience.
Yeah. All right, and we can end with artist changing the lyrics for your city.
I feel like I'm neither a friend nor a foe because some people do it really well and it's like but then some people it's just like, come on, man, just sing the song.
I'm friendly to that. They're putting a little thought into it. They're trying to fit in. So I'm good with it. I'm all right.
I will say I'm more of a foe whenever the artist comes out and is like, hey everybody, Charleston's the greatest city. Because I guarantee you last night you just said, hey everybody, Raleigh's the greatest city.
But Jordan, Charleston is the greatest city.
I don't disagree. But if you're going to say that the other 5 cities that you just left from are the greatest city, don't say that Charleston's the greatest
How
too.
do you know they said that?
I just know. I have a feeling.
That's good. Okay, I have a surprise game
Okay.
Ooh.
that I haven't even warned you about, but I couldn't ignore it since we're talking about Gable Price and Friends. And so it's a game that is based on this idea to name a band with a person and whatever their band is called. Okay?
Oh, man.
And so I'm going to give you some. Now, because there aren't too many of these in the Christian marketplace, I pulled some from the general market too. But I'm going to give you some, and you need to tell me if it's a real band or not a real band.
Okay.
Okay.
Based on the names.
I was thinking, do I have to come up with these? Because
you're
all
good.
knowledge of bands have left my brain.
In this moment. So I'll start with some easy ones. Okay.
Okay.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Cool and the Gang.
Brandon?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. Brandon knows nothing about like funk music, so
We'll do another one. Sly and the Family Stone.
Yeah.
no. That's a TV show. Isn't it about this? Isn't it this Sylvester Stallone TV show?
No,
Is that a band?
it is a band.
Oh, man.
All right, let's do a Christian one. Steve Taylor and the Perfect Foil.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Steve Taylor and the Danielson Foil.
Yes.
Yes. I'm just
Yes.
basing it off of Brandon's answer.
Um,
I know that he worked with Danielson, so.
Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
I want
Ooh,
that to be true.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
No and yeah. Why do you think yeah?
It sounds like a local band, to be honest.
You guys need to go watch the movie That Thing You Do. This is both true and false because the band
Fictional?
The Wonders play in a movie, this band called Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters. So, yeah, it's
Man.
great. My favorite
sounds
movie
good.
of all time. It's phenomenal. Okay, this is a real throwback. Maybe. Jeff Moore and The Distance.
I'm going to say yes because you said it was a real throwback. You
Giving it
kind
all
of gave it away.
Go with yes, too.
Yes, Jeff Moore and The Distance, classic Christian band. All right, let's do just one or two more. Judah and the Lion?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Katrina and the Waves?
Yes.
No.
They
It's
sing
yes.
the Walking on Sunshine.
Walking on Sunshine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I thought that was like based off of like the hurricane. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I would name my band after a
No.
tragedy.
All right, so the fun thing about that game is they were all yeses because so many people do this. Why? Why do so many people name their bands after a singer and then they're like, oh, and that's The Distance over there? It's an interesting thing.
Brandon and the Hush Puppies.
I feel like it's just a fun way to name a band.
Yeah.
Makes it easy.
At least Gable Price and Friends. Tell me this. Do you know, have they had like has the Friends part of it like changed a lot? Been different people over time?
I think they've had one guy left last year. I think, or it might have been early this year. I think the guitarist like
Okay.
stepped out.
Yeah.
So
So not like a ton of turnover. This isn't just like a thing where Gable Price is whoever I want to use on this record. We're going to bring these people in.
it'd make it really sad if Gable was like, you're just a friend. I don't need you.
Yeah. I kind of feel like you get a little bit of that though with separating yourself from your band.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting. All right. So I'm looking forward to digging into that. But before we get into it, let's find out.
What's in the news? What's in the news?
All right. So there's a lot that's happened in the last little bit. A lot that's happened with the Gospel Music Association, the GMA. So they had the annual Dove Awards that took place. But did you guys hear about what else happened? So they opened up downtown Nashville a museum called the Museum of Christian and Gospel Music.
Wow.
It's like this huge museum that they opened up down there. So there's all kinds of stuff in it, from like striper display to Carmen's Bible and boxing gloves from the Champion video. It's like history of Christian music. So I'm thinking one day we probably need to record a podcast episode from this museum. I feel like that'd be a pretty fun thing. So we need to work on that. Maybe
It
we
only
get-
makes sense.
Maybe
Yeah.
we can get a sponsorship.
Yeah.
We could go to Nashville.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I say we because I'm lumping myself into this.
Sounds like a fun time, but that's pretty cool. But then the Dove Awards happened. Did you guys see like who won different categories?
I read the list of them.
Yeah. I saw a couple of like different acceptance speeches and stuff from people.
Anything that like surprised you or you thought was cool or
I felt like Forrest Frank taking home like Artist of the Year was kind of, I don't know. I felt there's mixed feelings about it.
you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that he, just popularity wise, like probably won that pretty easily.
I think I think that both sides of it is that I look at what he's doing. And in my mind, an Artist of the Year is someone who's like reinventing stuff. And I feel like there's nothing like new, like the industry hasn't been changed by it, but at the same time, it's like his music is everywhere. Like if you went right now and asked people to name a Christian artist, I feel like someone like him or like a Brandon Lake. So it's like on the other hand, it's like it can't all be. It's like a movie. When movies win these big awards and you've never heard and they've made like 10,000 at the box office,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, well, there's something to be said about the movie that did generate, $30 trillion. So
Yeah, let's be honest. The Artist of the Year category at the Dove Awards has probably never been super cutting edge, sadly. But I think
Because
that's
it's
just
always
true.
like, who's the most popular, who has the most listens.
I go back to 2010 is when there was a shift. You saw John Rubin get snubbed in 2 categories, and
Brandon's just bitter.
I think ever since then we've just seen
Definitely.
yeah.
I think the shift happened before 2010, but
Yeah.
it'd be the only 2 people that I would think would even possibly win that award would be Forrest Frank or Brandon Lake. And it'd be interesting to compare like their streams on
Yeah.
Spotify. I don't even have a clue, honestly. So
I can research that.
you can
real
check
quick.
that out while we
Yeah.
talk about some other things. So Brandon Lake's song "Hard Fought Hallelujah" won Song of the Year. I definitely have some feelings about that one. But yeah, I don't know. Did you have any thoughts about that?
I feel like it just goes back to like the whole I remember like years ago, I think it was like Martin Scorsese. He was talking about how like all the Avengers movies are like, oh, these are like trash. And in my mind, I was like, no, I feel like they're telling a story, and yeah, it might be superheroes flying around. So it's like I see both sides of it. Like I said, I feel like there's bands that I look at and I'm like, these people are, they are doing something no one else is doing. They are creating, and I think that I lean towards those bands being like looked at and all, but it's also hard. Like I said, it's like, should you be punished for producing something that like brings all this attention? It's almost like I don't know. Like I feel like you shouldn't just a popularity contest doesn't mean that you are amazing, but also like you've done something right when out of the thousands of songs that are being released today, your song skyrockets and gets
Yeah.
all this success. So
Yeah, I I think it's a good song musically and everything. I think I just have I have a problem with it from more of a theological stint. This is going to make me sound a little bit like a goody goody or something. But I feel like the song's like trying to be edgy.
yeah.
For whatever reason, sometimes it's those kinds of songs that come off and win things like this and get popular, and then the church can have these conversations back and forth about them. But I just don't like the way that it tries to be edgy. Like when Stryper used the word hell, like to hell with the devil, they're
Yeah.
thinking theologically about how the devil is going to end up in this place forever. So that was like an edgy use of the word hell. But here in this song, it's like been through hell, but like it's not theological at all. It's just saying I've been through a lot of tough stuff in my life, and comparing that to an eternity of damnation. I just think it's theologically problematic.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I feel like we can do a little better, and I don't know. Let's just
I think sometimes the church struggles too with like whenever we get someone cool that like joins our team, all of a sudden it's like you look at when we went through the time with like Kanye West stepped in, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, he's the greatest, this is so cool. And it's almost like we want to be cool so we can look and say, hey, look right here, we got this cool person over here. So I feel like whenever you have that, you want to like publicize it. It's almost like,
Yeah.
I don't know if this week, if you had someone like a Mel Gibson or someone walk into our church, it's like part of you wants to be like, hey, look, we got this cool guy at our church. But also part of you is kind of like, well, why does he need to be center of attention? What makes him any different than like the other people, who may be here every week serving? So I think that's kind of like weird, is that it's like I said, you have this, oh, this song's a hit because we're cool. And I think the church has always struggled with we want to out cool everyone else. Like if they're not on our team, then they're ridiculous and all. But then once they join in and sing like a Christian song or show up, then all of a sudden, oh, they're cool, we're cool, and that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it feels kind of weird.
Yeah, I hear that. All right, Jordan, you have an update for us on
I do.
streams?
So Brandon Lake has 7 million monthly listens. However, Forrest Frank has 8.8 million.
Wow.
So Forrest Frank does have 1.8
Mm-hmm.
1.8 million more than Brandon Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a well-earned artist of the year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know what I mean. To me, that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Who's getting the most
I
streams?
feel like
Yeah.
the most streams, the most like listened to artist
Yeah.
should be the artist of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Whether we, yeah.
Yeah,
Whether
for
we
sure.
like them or not.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of people that I don't like that always win artist of the year. And I'm like, come on, this little like 1 million monthly listen artist, they should get it because I like them better.
Well, with that, let's talk about what we do like.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you guys been listening to lately that you've been enjoying?
I've been listening to a lot of Joey the Jerk. He was one of the, I don't know if you're familiar with LA Symphony.
Yeah.
So he was one of the members of that band, and he did like some solo stuff. He's one of those people that like he just like will show up randomly on someone. And in particular, I'll make sure I get the right name for the album. That way I don't jump up the words. Catch Me If You Can. It's like his latest or like one of his like few like solo stuff. So it was released like 10 years ago, but I feel like it's an album that just it meshes like it's fun, but also it like has like deep lyrics, and I don't know. I feel like it's cool whenever you can juggle something and it can be like playful, but also like have some like depth to it. So I feel like it's a really cool album.
That's great.
For me, I've been listening to a lot of Josiah Queen's stuff recently. But it's cool because I found him like maybe a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago on social media. And I was just like, oh, this is cool. Because I think it was like the video of him playing in the desert like kept on coming up. Whatever, I don't even remember what song was related to that one, but it kept on coming up in my algorithm. And at first I was like, all right, scroll on. I'm tired of seeing you, man. But then I started like listening to him, and I connected the dots, and I was like, oh, that's this guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been listening to him.
That's cool. Yeah, one that I've been listening to, the band Fine China just came out with a new record called I Felt Called. They're Velvet Blue, where Starflyer's been releasing most of their stuff. Fine China's been around for a long time at this point, and a band that is really good and puts out, I think this is like a double record, but they put out great stuff, but never have hit like the popularity of a band like Starflyer, but in a lot of ways sound a lot like Starflyer. And so I'm enjoying that new record a lot. I think it's really good. So all right, well, let's move on and take a break, and we will head towards talking about Gable Price and Friends. So today we're talking about the album or EP, Jungle in the City by Gable Price and Friends. So here's some info that I pulled on this. Jungle in the City is an EP by the alternative rock band Gable Price and Friends, released on August 9th, 2024. Hence, this is something that's come out basically in the last year. The EP and its title track were inspired by Gable Price's move to Los Angeles in January 2024. One of the album's producers, Aaron Broman, received a Dove Award nomination for his work on it. Speaking of the Dove Awards. So there you go. So you guys, this is new for me. I've heard both of you talk a lot about Gable Price and Friends, and we've talked about spending some time chatting through them on the podcast. But this was my first time really listening to them. But y'all have history, so kind of fill me in on how Gable Price entered into your life.
Yeah, we went to a music festival in
May.
April. May was it May?
Yeah, it was beginning of May.
The Love and Life
Love and Life
Festival.
Festival in Charlotte.
In Charlotte, and so like going to it, we knew a couple of the bands we wanted to see, and but we just kind of wanted to check out some of the smaller bands, and thinking, when you're paying that much for a concert, you don't want to go just to see Switchfoot, or whoever.
Yeah.
And so we made like a list of just all the bands that were going to be there that day, and Gable Price was one that just we started listening through them, and I was like, man, this is really cool what they're doing, and just started listening more, and it was funny because I was like, oh man, it's kind of like I wonder if these guys are like Christian or something, because there's these like stuff in there, and they come to find out like, oh, it is a Christian band. And I think for me it was cool because like so much of the music I love, it's like I found bands like after they had already went on hiatus or they had been gone for 10 years. So it was cool to find a band that, oh, this band is not only current, but they're also healthy. They're not
Yeah.
getting 20 listens a month. What about you, Jordan?
So, we went to this festival, and before the festival, we were listening through like the artists that were going to be there, just kind of getting a sample of like, oh, do I want to see them? Do I not want to see them? And Brandon like showed me a couple of their songs, and I was like, oh, I kind of like them. They're catchy. And then seeing them live, I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a good band. Like they're high energy performers. Like as soon as they came out, it was like from the get go, they were on top of it and just like boom, boom, boom with the set list. And I feel like they really drew you in. And to look around, there weren't a lot of people that were standing by the stage while we were there.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to see like, oh, this is like I'm a part of a very few people that get to hear this right now. Because like there's maybe 50 people standing around, if even that were listening to them, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like these guys, like I'm a part of something that's like starting, and
Yeah.
but then they've been around for a while, so it's not like I'm on the ground level, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of feels like a cool moment to step in when they're kind of up and coming and on the rise, which is kind of a fun thing. That's cool. All right. So is this the first thing by them that you ever listened to? Like,
Yeah, well, for us, it's kind of like jumbled.
Yeah.
Because like we've listened to really bits and pieces of like everything. So like even when people ask, it's kind of hard for us to say, go check out this album, because it's more.
Well, I will say for me, I even wrote down Heaven Closes Doors was the first song that I ever heard by them.
Yeah.
Whenever we first started listening to them on Spotify, that was the first song that I heard by them. And then from there, like whenever they performed, they played songs from several different
Yeah.
albums.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think so. Let's talk just through with that then. What are like opening thoughts on the album, like or the EP, before we kind of get into a track by track discussion? Like, what are just some general thoughts you guys have?
I know that for some people, they felt like it was kind of a shift from the other stuff they had done. So I think that you have some Gable Price and Friends purists that for them it might be a departure from what we're used to.
So tell me about that, because I obviously don't have a context for it. How is it different? Or
So for me, I've kind of been working my way back through their catalog. And I think for some people, when they first started off, maybe it was more of a like heavier with like the like a faith aspect in it. So I think for some people, there's been like this feeling of, oh, only 2 of these songs mention Jesus or something instead. So I think that for some people they feel that way. But I mean, for me, I kind of feel like it's a lot of these bands, like a Jars of Clay thing. Not every song has
right?
Jesus' name, or like, nor do you like need it. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of my vibe I've gotten from the album, is that it is just kind of a departure from like maybe some of their like earlier beginnings.
I feel
Gotcha.
like a lot of their older stuff is more, I would say more like alternative rock, whereas this one is more of like an indie rock. It's got like a lighter sound to it.
Yeah.
It's not as like electric guitar and heavy drums. So I feel like it's kind of like that. And then like you said, the lyrics are more like it could be about like a relationship between a boy and a girl or
Right.
between like parents or something, like parent-child relationship or something like that. So it's not like super Jesus, Jesus, Jesus all the time. But if you know, is like whenever I was listening through it, I had the lyrics pulled up and like a lot of the U's are capital Y. So it's like it's
Yeah.
talking about like God. So it's like that perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was paying attention to that too as I was listening through it, and it wasn't. Yeah, I noticed that it wasn't super clear, but you could definitely trace it throughout
Yeah.
it, which was cool. Yeah, you talked a little bit about how this one's like a little lighter, and so I don't know the past at all, the other things obviously, but I could get a sense, I think, of how that was the case because there were a few moments where I was like, that hits pretty hard. And we've talked a lot about production already on this podcast. One of my notes, just as an opening thought for this album, is it's like super produced, in kind of like in a different way than a lot of records. It's like really produced with like a ton of kind of ambient feel and reverb, and almost like you want it to sound like when you hear them live,
Yeah.
but like not like live and natural, like overproduced and live kind of
Yeah.
thing. And I don't like, yeah, I think it sounds really good. I like the production on it, and I get where they're going. But
Yeah.
I was wondering, I was like, I wonder if like all the previous records sound like this, or if they're a little more like not quite as polished and a little more raw. So that'll be an interesting thing for me to figure out over time. It reminded me a little bit. Have you ever heard of the band? This is another and band, but have you ever heard of the band Mike Main and the Branches?
I've heard of them, but I don't know if I've heard of either music.
They put out a record on Tooth and Nail that has this kind of feel to me, and I feel like right now it's kind of like a indie rock pop, like super echoey, like that's like it's a thing, it's a vibe
Yeah.
that a lot of artists are running after. That like I felt kind of listening to this, yeah. So cool. All right. Any other opening thoughts?
I think we're good.
All right, well, let's get into track by track. First track, the first song by Gable Price and Friends that I ever really listened to and paid attention, Newspaper Boat. What do you guys think about this one?
Well, so whenever I first heard it, yeah, I thought it was like a Switchfoot song that had been like tucked away. And I was like, have I never heard this Switchfoot song? But then I realized that it was Gable Price and Friends, and I was like, oh, that's them. Because it sounds very Switchfooty. Like, I think like the chorus, the I,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's my review of Silence. I feel like each album, it's always like, all right, what's this first one? How's it going to set the tone? And I feel like this, it just has such a like epic opening to it. And I feel like throughout the whole song, there's just this like, there's this like urgency to it. Like there's these smooth verses, but then there's just like call to action or just this urgency. I feel like it's, like I said, it gets you pumped up. Like you listen to this and it's like, it's a song that, an album that starts this way or live, like a concert starts this way, it gets your attention, it gets you moving. So yeah, like I really love it.
That's cool. Yeah, I like this one a lot. So you guys don't have a lot of experience with this band from previous conversations, but it reminds me a lot of the band Mute Math. Vocally, I think, and even like in some of the production and just musically, And so I think if you like this, you'd probably dig that band a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I made a note. Yeah, there's high production. There's these like on the chorus, these like kind of hits that are like guitar and synth kind of like on top of the chorus that I thought were really cool. The chorus is super catchy. There's like this like move thing that happens as they go into the last chorus that I thought was cool, and the like yells at the end are kind of fun. So yeah, I like this. I thought it was a great opening track to the EP.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So moving on. Next up we have Think with Your Chest. For me, I feel like it's got like a little like a lot of one-liners in there, and I think it works well. I think it's not as like it's not like cheesy. Like I feel like he's saying things maybe in a different way than you've heard 1,000 times on songs.
Yeah.
I think personally for me though, it feels like it's kind of just a lot of like one-liners thrown together. So for me, like I like the track, but I think that this is maybe in my opinion, the weakest track on the album. Like for that reason of just that's the main problem I have is that it kind of feels like the lyrics kind of just thrown in.
yeah, Jordan, what'd you think?
I feel like it's not the weakest track, but I liked it because I feel like it does have all of those like cliche type phrases thrown in there, but I feel like it's kind of like a hey, everybody says this, but really you should be doing this. And so like the line that stands out is everybody's pointing out the spills, but few are cleaning up the mess. And I feel like that's such a good line because so many people like walk by spills and things and stuff pulled out, but then they don't even bother to stop and clean it up. So I feel like that is like just such a good line for me.
Yeah, Brandon, this is my favorite song on the EP.
I should have known. I can't wait till later where Joel tears apart my favorite track.
I think it's fast. I think it's fun. I love how like the chorus, like I think maybe like the third chorus, like goes
Yeah.
to like halftime. Just a really cool shift that happens there. Yeah, I loved everything about this one.
I feel
So,
like it's a very visual song. Like you can see the things that are happening.
Yeah.
That he's talking about.
yeah, that's cool. All right, track number 3, Mountains and Mundane.
What'd you think, Joel?
I love the title. I think it's cool. Yeah, and there's a lyric in there like Fountain of Youth, Fountain of You that I thought was like a cool wordplay. The chorus is catchy. So this song could potentially have been really up there for me. But I have to take a little bit of a beef with one line in it that just drives me crazy. And they use the phrase that's like a cultural like phrase today, love is love. And I just hate that phrase so much.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a meaningless throwaway thing. When you try and define love by just saying it's love, that means like it's anything. It can be anything. And I don't think that that's true. I think that as Christians, we get a pretty defined like view of what love is. And so, yeah, I don't know where they were going with that or anything, but I was just a little like, I don't know. That's just a personal like,
No.
I don't love that phrase, and so I was super bummed when it showed up on a song that I liked, but it immediately like dropped the song for me like a point or so, just like hearing it. So yeah,
Yeah, I think for me, I really like the track. I think the highlight for me is the outro. Like I always like whenever someone like the chorus and like stuff shifts like throughout a song, you know, like you see the story change, like there's no hope, then there's hope. So for me, the ending I enjoy. There's the going through and it being a little bit different and off script, it feels like.
yeah,
Well, I liked it because I really liked the message throughout. And I feel like this is one of those songs where it could be taken as like a boy girl type relationship.
yeah,
But the lyrics are capital Y for you. And then I liked the line in there that you don't sound annoyed. And I feel like it's such a good song to have to show like, hey, you can keep going to God. God's not going to get annoyed with you. And like he shows up whenever you're on the mountaintop and then in the mundane. So I feel like I liked that message of like God shows up wherever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's I do love the song. I just got sad. So,
I usually don't like the slower songs, but I liked this one.
yeah. Yeah, I hear that.
All right, next up we have Jungle in the City. Jordan, how do you feel about the Jungle in the City?
I liked it. I'm reading my notes to make sure that I cover everything. And I honestly I just wrote the 2 lyrics that I like. So a peek into mine and Brandon's world. A lot of times we will sing this line just randomly. It's our vocal stems. We will just say, "Good luck out there," and that's it. And so like a lot of times I'll just sing "Good luck out there," and so I like that start of it.
That's cool.
So it's catchy. I feel like it's like
Yeah.
and then the where he sings like fathers and mothers, sisters and brothers. It's like ba-na-na, 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 ba-na. I like that part.
Yeah, this song makes me think of that meme where it's like everything's on fire, but the dog's like got like a coffee mug and he's just like sitting there. Like
This is fine.
yeah, like this whole song is like a playful look at just all of the chaos. And I enjoy that it's kind of this like an opposite of the first track where there's this urgency and chaos in the verses, and then the chorus it's like, hey, we're gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Everything's fine. And yeah, I think it's cool whenever someone can take something about like, hey, this is everything is like burning to the ground, but hey, I'm still happy about it.
Yeah.
Whenever someone can take a song with that kind of message and make it into this playful like dance along, sing along song, I think it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So my thing at this point in the EP is there's a lot of playful dance along, sing along songs. And it could be that I haven't spent a lot of time with it, but I think at this point I was like, this song feels like the last one and the one before it and the one before it. And I think I was getting ready just to like want something like that feels a little different, but it kind of still felt the same. And so most of my notes were just like, this is a great song, but it doesn't do anything that the other songs like weren't already doing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I liked it, but yeah. All right, track number 5, Fall in Love with the Light. Speaking of a shift, I
I
wrote
feel like
down,
this was the shift that you wanted.
I wrote down that I was thankful for the shift in speed and in tone. Yeah, what do you guys think about this one?
I think for me, it feels so sincere. And a lot of times it feels like people just sit down and say, let's write a song about depression. Let's write a song where it's just this very fake. It's almost as if when you're dealing with someone, like a family member that's sick, and someone just says, "Oh, you got to praise the Lord," and it's like, that's cool, but that just seems like it doesn't feel personable, or just I pray for you, I'll pray for you, or whatever. So for me, it feels like this song is someone being genuine and talking about like their struggles or trying to help a friend. I almost expect the behind the scenes of this to be Gable Price or someone from whoever like wrote the lyrics to say, oh, this is inspired by me reaching out to someone who is struggling.
Yeah.
So that's what stood out to me with the track, is that it just felt very sincere.
Yeah, because like the line that I wrote down that stood out for me was "Let it hurt, you have permission."
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so many people like in the Christian world where it's like, oh, I'm uncomfortable because you're not doing great, and your mental health is not good right now, and I don't know how to fix it. So I'm just going to say that I'm praying for you, but I'm going to run away because I don't want to deal with this mess. But that's not what people need. And that's what the song is saying. Like, hey, I'm going to sit down with you and we're just going to sit here. We're going to talk it out. It will be okay, but you can hurt. You can have your moment as long as we just don't stay there.
Yeah.
So I feel like that I liked that, but I don't love slow songs, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't love it, but it's a good lyric
Yeah.
message song.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought the verse was great. I like the melodies. I've already talked about how I was thankful that it was a little bit of a shift, and
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I like this one a lot. It's good.
So, for just asking a question real fast for you, Joel. So you made a comment about it feeling very produced. Whenever you are listening to an album where it is, you're saying like they're sounding the same, and it is also feeling very produced. Like, is it enough of a shift when you go, oh, this is still sounds produced, but at least it's slower, or are you almost expecting it to say, just give me this like raw acoustic song in the middle of all of this or something? Like, do you want
No,
to?
I don't think that would have fit well.
Mhm.
And so I think an album needs to sound like a cohesive
Okay, yeah.
album. And so I think this balances that really well,
Mhm.
with really slowing things down, but still kind of keeping the feel of the
Mhm.
record. And so I thought it did a great
Yeah.
job of that. Yeah.
Next up is Heaven Closes Doors. Joel, what are you thinking about it?
Yeah, this is a good one. I like like, there's like a palm muted guitar.
Mm-hmm.
It brings a little bit of the production stuff to the forefront of the conversation though, because there's so much production happening
Mm-hmm.
that like you almost don't even hear it or feel like what the guitar part actually is.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much on it. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just thought that was interesting. But and then the chorus is like
Mm-hmm.
huge on this one. So I think it's a cool song. Um, I think again, like I just was feeling like a little like lost in the
Mm-hmm.
production of it all, and it's probably going to be a recurring theme for me
Mm-hmm.
on some stuff. But it just felt similar to a lot of the previous stuff because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I will say it's new for me, and so I know the more time that that I would spend with this, the like more differentiated the stuff would become for me.
Yeah.
So, but just on a couple of listens through it, yeah, it kind of runs together a little
Mm-hmm.
bit.
No.
What about you, Jordan?
So for me, like I said earlier, this was the first song that I was ever exposed to with them. So I liked it, and I liked the catch of like heaven closes doors just to open a window.
Yeah, it's cool.
So I liked that line. And then also where he talks about like it's so lovely on the ground, where it's like sometimes we get stuck and we think, oh man, it's so great to be down here because it's easy. So I'm just gonna stay down here. But this is a song to say like no, because even though the door was closed, a window's gonna open, so
Yeah.
you need to go through the window. But then also like musically wise, I like the breakdown before the chorus starts with the guitar. So I liked that where the chorus is this big like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
sound.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like I need to give a disclaimer because I feel like there's a very like personal attachment to this. So like I find it like I like that it's very haunting. Like at the beginning,
Yeah.
Like I think it helps separate a little bit is that it's like it does feel like it's this like haunting. And I think that hold on, I had my notes pulled up and it deleted. But yeah, I feel like that, and I feel like the story, and I know for me when I first heard this, like I was really in a point in life where it's like, okay, I doors need to be closed, and it's where do I go now? And I remember hearing the song and just feeling like I was like Gable Price is singing to me.
Yeah.
So
that's
like I remember like the first time hearing this, just like tearing up because I was just like, this is what I'm going through. This is what I need to hear. And for me, with the window part about like, oh, like climbing through a window or something. For me, I even just took it as, hey, sometimes it's not even that like you're going to walk through. Sometimes it's just you're able to like look through the window and see what is on the horizon. So for me, it was cool to take it as, hey, maybe there's not a call to action right now. Maybe there's just I need to be patient in the waiting. So to me, that's why I feel like when you have a emotional attachment to a song, it's, you can kind of be blinded by if it's, you kind of like don't see the like flaws or whatever. But also to me, it's just cool to celebrate a song, because there's
Yeah.
songs for me that I might think are cheesy or like bad, but I know that they changed someone else's life or whatever. So to me, it's always cool whenever an artist can put something out that just impacts someone that much.
Yeah. No, I think that's cool. I love the beginning of it too. I love that. I think I just wanted to be able to actually hear the guitar a little more than but I get the sense of like the
Yeah.
haunted kind
Yeah.
of stuff. I do think it's a cool song, and I think the message of it's great.
So we wrap it up with Deeply Human. So I'll say for me, I felt like it was a simpler song, and it was that slowdown. And I think kind of what you said earlier is that all the songs, because even the songs like Fall in Love with the Light, it's not like a slow and let's sit down. It's still a like energetic.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it was cool to, if you're looking at this album as like if this was a concert, to me it was cool to have this. If you were at a concert and it's just like you're dancing, you're singing, blah blah blah, but then the final track is just this kind of like mellow, like fade out.
Yeah.
So for me, it worked because I felt like I was enjoying kind of like where they were going, and I enjoy the slowdown like part of it.
Yeah.
For me, I had to look it up because I actually wrote down, I missed some words in my notes, and I was like, that's not right. But the lyric that stood out to me was, ain't it brave? It ain't that brave to hide yourself. No, gosh, I am messing it up.
That is the
good.
lyric actually, is that it's like, ain't it brave? Oh gosh, I'm messing up.
It ain't that brave to feel nothing, and it ain't that strong to hide your suffering. I was trying to mix those lyrics up by it ain't that brave to suffer. But the lyric is that it's not strong to hide your suffering.
Yeah.
And I like that lyric. And then where he's in gosh, I am butchering this song. Whenever he talks about like show some grace, and I feel like I need the grace right now because I'm butchering it.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
But yeah, I feel like I liked those lyrics, but it's one of those where I feel like it's a little bit slower, and
Yeah.
I've already established that I don't like slow songs, so I feel like it wasn't the greatest song to end with. I feel like you need like maybe a good like, I don't know, maybe like an upbeat type like song at the end. They beg to differ. I guess they want to make you like feel relaxed at the end. So maybe that's why they put the slow song at
So
the
with
end.
what Joel was saying earlier about how he's like, all right, give me a break. Are you saying like for this one, if you had 7 tracks of just boom, 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 like you're
Yes.
good with an album with that?
Absolutely.
That's exactly what she wants.
I curate my playlist to be that.
Yeah, I certainly have playlists like that. And most of my playlists probably feel a little that way. Yeah, no, I liked this. This was different, and I feel like a really good way. I also thought it, even in its like simplicity and differentness, it was really like, I like the I'm only human kind of thing. Like, it was catchy still, even in the sense of it being there. I think the thing that I wanted from this song is, I felt like the whole song was kind of like, it's okay, you're human, like you're gonna make mistakes. But there was never like a push to like, but like do better or grow
Yeah.
or anything. It was just kind of like, it's okay to stay where you are. And I just kind of, I agree. Like we are human, we are broken, and it's okay to be in that state and be in that place. But you know, we have a Savior who left heaven to come and rescue us from that brokenness. And so, while we are broken people, we're being made new day after day. And so, like, there is a sense of growth that's happening, as slow as it may be. And I just wanted like a little like glimmer of that. But
Yeah. And see, I feel like if you're looking at this as a whole, like I said earlier, if the song was at a different place, I feel like if you switched Heaven Opens Doors with
Yeah.
Deeply Human, because it's like, hey, we make mistakes, it's okay, everybody is human, and then end it with hey, you're down here, but you got to climb through the window because something better God has in store for you.
yeah,
So I feel like if those two would have flipped,
I hear
it
that.
would have been better.
It's hard to argue with that, Jordan.
Exactly. I'm not saying get rid of the slow song altogether. Put it in a different place.
All right. So that is Jungle in the City by Gable Price and the Friends. Final thoughts on that? Or do you guys want to jump straight into ratings?
I maybe just jump in. I feel like a lot of times my final thoughts are at the rating, or it's just a wild card of I enjoyed it, but here's
I'll
a
share
one.
a final thought with my rating, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I feel like I wrote down an overall theme. I feel like throughout the EP was to wear your heart on your sleeve, because I feel like they said something about like your heart and it being on your sleeve, or like showing your heart, or like where your heart belongs, or stuff like that, was kind of throughout the whole
Yeah.
EP. Like there was at least one mention of it in every song. So I feel like that's kind of the overall theme, which I think is good, because I feel like it's needed. I feel like a lot of people, they don't show their hearts, and they don't wear their hearts on their sleeve. They kind of keep things hidden because they have to stay strong, and they don't want to show like vulnerability. So I feel like that's a cool overarching theme. What's the scale that we're rating it out of? Because I haven't even thought about that.
1 out of 100.
It's
1 to 5.
1 to 5.
Yeah.
I would put it at maybe, I would say for Gable Price and Friends, this EP would be a 4. I feel like it encompasses kind of who they are as a band, kind of the message that they want to show to people. Because I feel like they have said it before, and they're releasing newer music, and a couple of interviews that they've done, and things that they've said that they want to be a Christian band releasing music. Like they're Christians that are releasing music, that it's not necessarily like Christian music,
Right.
but it's music by
Christians.
So it's kind of in that lens. So I feel like this kind of encompasses that like it kind of blurs the line of like, oh man, this could be like a boy girl relationship, but in actuality, it's God and his children. So I give it a 4.
Cool. I think that's a respectable rating. It's very good. I realize that I've probably sounded like I'm a little harsher on this than I actually was listening to it, because I really enjoyed it from beginning to end. I listened to it in my car with my daughter, and I was like, this is pretty good. But honestly, when I put my headphones on and really paid attention to it, I felt like it came like way more alive. And that's where like the production really like stood out, and I enjoyed it at a deeper level, because I thought the production maybe wasn't like what I would put on a record, but I think it worked really well for the record. And so, I landed, I think, at a 3.5. I really enjoyed this, and I was thankful to get exposed to it and to keep listening. So.
Yeah, I went back and forth on this a lot, because like you don't want to be like prisoner of the moment, but also since March, I've listened to this album probably three times a week. And I was I was telling Joel
He's
the
not
other day,
exaggerating.
I was like, it depends on what we're calling it. Because I was like, if it's an album, I feel like it has to be 10 songs. Which Joel was like, that's not a rule, Brandon. That's just a
Yeah.
Brandon rule of music. But I think, so if you look through the lens of an EP, I think it shifts a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think for me, if we're just calling it this release, I think for me, it's 5 stars.
Wow.
And like I said, I didn't want to be prisoner of the moment, but I feel as though when something is to the point to where you can be months into it and still not be tired of it or like over it, it's good. And so, and I think it just impresses me too that we talk a lot about how it's almost, you look to the old to say, well, that's when all the good stuff was, and today we're trying to catch back up. And I think with Gable Price and Friends, it just reminds me of a lot of the stuff that I enjoyed from bands growing up. And it reminded me a lot of Abandoned Kansas too. Almost if
Yeah.
they had their children having bands, but the members weren't that old.
They're not
but
that old.
No.
but yeah, so for me, I think that it's yeah.
That's cool. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That this is 5 stars for you. And I just want to say about that I think it's completely okay for us to let our emotions get tangled up in the way that we like experience the music that we're experiencing, because you can't divorce those things from each other. If this
Yeah.
is just straight math for us, and there's no feelings or emotion involved in it, there's no nostalgia involved in it. If it's something from the past, then why are we even listening to
Yeah.
it? You know what I mean? And so I think that's awesome. I love that. So, all right. Well, let's move from there into what is the lyric of the week.
It's time for the lyric of the it's time.
So our lyric of the week, it comes from Newspaper Boat, and it seems like everybody's dying, but is anyone just dying to live? It seems like everybody's crying, but nobody's really trying to forgive.
There's some good lyrics on this album.
Yes.
I get why for you as a lyric guy, this is like this is up there, because there's some really solid writing that's happening. That's really good. Cool.
I feel like it says something too, because I'm not a lyric person, but I feel like when it comes to Gable Price and Friends, I am a lyric person.
You wrote a lot of lyrics down.
I did. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like lyrically they are really great. And I feel like they say things in such great ways. Because like that, I had written that one down. I wrote "dying to live" in quotation marks underneath that song on my notes. So I feel like that line, I like that line. So yeah.
I love it. That's awesome. Well, Jordan, it's been great having you back.
Thanks for having me back.
Of course, you are always welcome to join us. It's kind of fun to get through 10 episodes and kind of have that that mark behind us. And so I kind of feel like we're actually like doing this thing now, and this is a real thing.
The fact that people like outside of our immediate friend group, like our acquaintances and stuff, are talking about the podcast, I feel like that's pretty cool.
Are they talking about podcast?
Yeah.
I was telling Joel beforehand that like my boss LaQuinta, I feel like I need to send a shout out to her, that
Hey, LaQuinta.
every Friday morning I walk in and she'll be like, "So bleach, huh?" And I'll be like, "Do we need to like buy some for the center?" And she'll be like, "Oh, nah, that was so cool listening to Jarrett." And so to me, it's so cool to see like, you know, like someone who hears that and thinks, "Oh, that's cool," and I want to jump into that. So yeah.
Yeah. So you got some buzz going.
Well, if you are buzzed about what's happening on Hey, Are You Listening, we would greatly appreciate it if you give us a review or some stars, or subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to it. That would be super helpful for us just to get the word out on what's going on. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, share things that are going on. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. It's been fun today. Talking about something that's happening now in the world of Christian music. And I'm excited about doing that even more because I do feel like we're in a moment where there's a lot happening.
Yeah.
And so looking forward to digging into that even more as the days pass. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, been a good time.
Hey, are you listening? This ain't no quiet thing. We're screaming.